Hello.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. I got to watch Multiverse this morning and it was amazing. I was at times like I was like, holy crow, what's going on here? And but overall it just like it meshed together and it was awesome. So thank you so much for making this awesome movie.
Oh, thank you so much for watching.
Hey, Albert.
Hey, how you doing, Munro?
Goodbye.
Yeah. So, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been watching you since Degrassi.
Appreciate that, man.
I'm going all the way with that. So my first question to you guys is, what inspired you to take on your roles in this movie?
Well, for Paloma and I, it's very similar circumstances. If I can speak to that, Paloma, where we both weren't kind of through the traditional audition process, where I think there was something that happened throughout production, and we were both called upon at different times to see if we would like to join on. And so for me personally, I knew some people on the production that I had worked with previously, and so they brought the script to my attention and the role. And then so when I heard I was playing, two different characters, and there was all these like different layers within layers, and the cool ensemble, it was like, I knew it was going to be difficult to execute, and anything like that, you got to jump at it.
That's awesome. So what was it like working for Gaurav Seth? What was it like working with him as the director?
Gaurav had a very specific vision for the film, so it was really interesting to work with a director who had very like precise moments that he wanted to hit, and especially with a lot of cool shots, because he wanted to put in these little moments that made you feel like maybe you were in different universes. So a lot of like reflection shots. So he was a very cinematic director to work with, and also a very giving director in terms of our performances. It was really easy to be like, hey, Gaurav, I want to try one more because I want to do it a certain way. And he was always quick to be like, yes, okay, let's do one. Like, you do your take, and we'll see how it goes. And often he was like, that was fantastic. I'm so glad we did another take.
What about you, Munro? What was it like working with him from your experience?
Yeah, just echoing what Paloma said. He was quite collaborative. He really wanted to make sure we were comfortable with what we were doing. And that's always nice. You never want to have too many cooks in the kitchen, because, there is a direction what the writers has and what the director has. But it was fun to watch him work. And it was nice to have great dialogue, especially because you have to keep the communication up when you are doing something out of order like this, and make sure all the characters are the same and which version is there and which not. And also, like Paloma said, him working with Ivan, they really wanted to accent like just weird shots. Like, it's like, let's get creative, let's get different. He would just say, he's like, Ivan, I want something interesting. And they were like, okay. So they would do something interesting, and that just hearing that dialogue kind of lent that to us as actors to be like, oh no, let's do something interesting. Let's take risks. Let's leap. And as an actor, that's all you want. You want to feel comfortable looking. You want to be comfortable being fearless. And that he kind of let that stage for us.
And that's the best thing about indie cinema, because that allows that creativity with the actors, and that's what makes it work. That's why I love indie cinema so much, more than anything. Even better than the big Hollywood movies. I love those a lot. Let's just face it. But what helps in the film is like great chemistry within the cast. And this, I felt like if it didn't work, it didn't feel forced at all with Robert and Sandra. You guys meshed really well, the four of you. I felt like this was one of the best ensemble casts I've seen since Asky Last Year is another movie I saw, which had a great ensemble cast. What was it like working with Robert and Sandra?
They were great. We had a unique experience because we were filming on location in Sudbury, Ontario, and none of us were from Sudbury, Ontario. So all of us were like from other places, all staying in the same hotel. So we really got to get to know each other like really well, and we all became good friends, and we all, went out for dinner every night and went and hung out on the town. We like went to concerts and things on the weekends. So like we really got to know each other well, and clearly I'm glad that it read in the movie that we had chemistry within us in real life, and so it was easy to portray that in the film.
That's awesome. And I gotta say, one of the big surprises was Marlee Matlin being in the film. And I like the fact that you had one of the characters being having the American Sign Language. I felt like that was a big plus in terms of characters, because you don't really get to see that type of character in a movie like this of this magnitude. But I think it really worked for this, and it was such a great film to watch.
When it's important, right? Sorry to cut you off, Paloma, but it's very important. And when we were talking with Sandra about it, for a lot of people who watch movies and television, Marley Matlin, put that on the map. And Sandra, we talked about many times at dinner or just all hanging out, just about what it's like being a deaf actor in general, but just being an actor on Broadway. And Sandra just absolutely knocked it out of the park. She was just absolutely wonderful as an actor and so giving, but to make sure we told that story correctly and authentically, and just even on the other side for us who are best friends with her and colleagues, how we're supposed to just little etiquette things where, like, if you don't have someone in your circle who's deaf, there are certain stigmas and certain stereotypes that you feel like you want to do. Exactly. And so to be able to have that conversation and have that dialogue very open and honestly was one of the things I'll treasure from this project for sure.
That's awesome. And Munro, speaking of which, dude, you have played evil before, and I don't know, you got like one of the best ranges, hands down, in my opinion.
Thank you so much.
You're a nice guy. You could play a nice guy in one movie, someone who's very emotional in another movie, and then let's say Knuckleball, for instance, you went pure evil.
You watch that? Cool.
And now here you do it both ways. Here you go from the nice guy, and then you're also the bad, like the evil guy in this. Like, that's just brilliant, just to play those two. That must have been wild, taking that time instead of sticking with one role, doing both within the same movie. That's just amazing.
Well, I've always liked versatility. I've always looked at Rob Williams when he did Fisher King or Mrs. Doubtfire. I always resonated towards that. But anything you're speaking of right now, which I really appreciate, is all hands to everyone who worked making it look that good. They make it look easy for me, and I've been blessed to work with some amazing actors who are just great dance partners. That's it. Yeah. It's more similar that I get to play, and when you get to work with great actors like the ones we're working with on this film, and even Knuckleball with Lucas, Lucas, sorry, it's easy. You just kind of go in there and you play, and that's all you can ever dream for as an actor.
That's awesome. So how long did shooting take, and did you guys face any difficulties during production at all, or was it just smooth?
It took, I think it was 3 weeks or so, I think 18 shooting days. We did actually have some crazy weather while we were in Sudbury, because we were there in August, so it was summer, and we had these like crazy summer storms. There was I think it was the very first day, wasn't it? Munro should speak about this because he was the one who was actually on set, but there was a crazy rainstorm, and they had to shut down production early that day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was literally the first scene. It was the first scene between Rob and I, and we're doing the scene. It feels great. We're just like, this is awesome. Like, the scene's bouncing, we're dancing, it's nice. And they're like, we can't use any of this. Like, it's not even going to come close because later on, it's not going to be raining and we got to match it. So, and that's, but again, with that, that's just part of the industry. That is the craft, to recreate. So he's got to keep whatever was nice there, recreate it. But other than that, you're with any indie film, which is, I think, a blessing. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have the budget that some other productions have, which is the intangible, which is time.
Right.
So you have to be able to put up or shut up on the moment and really find something special right then and there. And so I think that's one of the things that I loved, is that, when you're kind of scrambling, if it works, if the lines aren't working, or something's going on with the weather or something, you have to adjust. And sometimes those are blessings in disguise. You can't see them as hindering your performance or hindering the job that's happening. You have to adjust and move forward.
That's awesome. So let me ask you guys this. Do you think there's actually a multiverse anywhere, like just as your characters think? I would love to know that.
I think there's possibilities of multiverses. Why not? Did you know that there are quantum physicists who are affecting atoms as we speak? It's like a crazy thing. They could affect it from like miles away. They can have an atom that they affect, and the same atom miles away gets affected as well. These are real things that are happening in our world.
What do you think, Munro? You think there's a real multiverse out there?
100%. It's like aliens. It's got to be. It's got like it's just there's too much out there. They make it like to I don't know. Why not? You
Yeah,
know,
I,
why
I,
not?
I see people who look like they like I thought I saw you, and it's like people who look like me. I'm like, I wonder if that's a multi version of me, and like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna look. I'm like, wait a minute. So that's that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So finally, what's next after this movie? What's next for you guys that you can talk about? Any upcoming projects that you guys can chat about?
Um, I don't have too much coming out. I did do a episode on NBC's Debris, which is also a sci-fi show, which is also was pretty spooky. But otherwise, I have a couple little projects, but I don't know. I can't speak on when they're coming out yet.
Okay. And what about you, Munro?
Right now, Watch Dogs Legion, Bloodline, the DLC that I was able to do through motion capture, that's out right now. So I got to play Jackson Pierce, which is to do motion capture and that kind of thing is an absolute dream. So that's out right now, which is great. And then I did a film, another indie film in February of this year. And we filmed in Sault Ste. Marie, and right now it's called The Protector. And it's about a Hindi god, and it's starring Chelsea Clark, and it's a pretty cool story, and it's a thriller, but it's telling a story that I don't think a lot of people in North America have heard. So I think it's going to be a fun one, and I hope people enjoy it.
Oh, I probably will, knowing that. And I will tell you, just for the fact you mentioned Watch Dogs Legion, my son's gonna love you right now because he's playing that game.
Oh, is he? Oh, cool. Yeah, it's a cool one, eh?
And then I will tell you this. In December, I have my annual World Film Geek Awards in Monroe. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get the best male performance for Taking the Fall, which came out earlier this year. Because, dude, you were amazing in that film. Taking the Fall. I got to watch that, and man, you just like brought it in that film as the lead.
I really appreciate that. That's a huge. Anytime again, we shot that in 8 days, so that is a tribute to the limited crew we had, and that was like an 8-person ensemble, 127 pages. So that goes out to everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate you watching it.
Yeah, definitely. So Multiverse is coming out November 12th, right? That's when it's coming out.
Yep.
So anyone who's just waiting for the MCU's Multiverse, let's just forget about that. They want to see a movie about the multiverse, they got to see this one, because this one's just insane. It's just emotional, groundbreaking, crazy, and this has amazing cast in it. And Paloma and Munro, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. You guys are awesome, and yeah, I can't wait to see more of your stuff.
Thank you, Albert. Really appreciate talking to you.
All right, you guys take care.